It's all about the macro productions.
What does the goddamn line say, Tony?
Please do not use gendered language.
Then what? I'll be arrested, put in airport jail?
Look, you're going completely sideways, man.
It's a big club, and you ain't in it.
How dare you?
Mr. Speaker, the President of the United States.
I'm Chris Hansen with Dave on NBC.
Jack Marius Tack Theratrix.
Hi, I'm Spartacus.
Jackson, Sacramento, he, him. Steven Seagal.
Sex offender guy.
I'm Keith Morris.
This is Muammar Gaddafi.
I'm Rick James, bitch.
Sorting through the lies.
The hijacker's passport was found blocks from the World Trade Center crash site, if you can believe that.
We cannot track $2.3 trillion in transactions.
And uncovering the centuries-long plan for world domination.
Learning about Cuba, having some food.
Let's talk about Chinese people.
Have you ever been in a Turkish prison? Swangles and Fort Lauderdale?
I have sent 6 of my Libyan missiles to blow up the CS hardware department.
Nothing could be more fun than jumping off a cliff with 2 German bisexuals.
Oh, you English are so superior, aren't you?
Thank you, comrade.
And now, macroaggressions.
That's what assholes call it.
With your host,
Buddy, I don't know who you are, but you're about to get chlamydia.
Charlie Robinson.
Hey, Whitey, where's your hat?
You want to drop the blame on Charlie and say it's all Charlie's fault.
He was a retard.
I get some goddamn diuretic.
Welcome to Macroaggressions. I'm your host, Charlie Robinson. If you're watching us on Rumble, Band.video, Vigilante TV, or you're listening wherever podcasts are served, thanks so much. We appreciate it. We know you have like a million other choices out there, like maybe literally a million other choices. So to spend your time with us, we appreciate it. Thanks. If you want to connect with me, macroaggressions.io is the website. You can find information about the podcast, the books, activist posts, Natural Blaze, all that good stuff, social media. We appreciate our sponsors. We can't do this show without them. It's that time of year. Have you prepared? Are you ready for the fuckery that is afoot maybe later this year? Hopefully not. The guys at My Patriot Supply have been nice enough to create a landing page for us, preparewithmacroaggressions.com. It's down in the show notes. You can find it there. Do you have storable food? Do you have any food? Do you have anything put away? You better. I mean, you've had all this time to think about it and plan for it. Got to have some food just in case. Don't want to freak your family out, right? Talking about economic collapses and the apocalypse and this and that. So maybe frame it as, hey, let's get some storable food in case the power goes out, or in case there's an earthquake or hurricane or tornado or some natural disaster. We all know it's because of an impending economic collapse, of course, but you don't want to tell your wife that because it's just going to be too much for her. But get yourself squared away. If you haven't already, go to preparewithmacroaggressions.com. You can sort this out in about 10 minutes online. If you've got your food situation squared away, congratulations, you are most definitely in the minority. Maybe be magnanimous and have some buckets of food delivered to your family, your friends, people that live out of state. Maybe have them sent some food just in case, just to make sure that they've got it. So if you're interested, preparewithmacroaggressions.com is the place to go for all of that. And how are you feeling with regard to your health? Are you okay? Christian Yordanev has been my certified health practitioner for the last couple of years. If you're struggling with health challenges that you've been unable to resolve, such as digestive problems, low energy, you can't sleep, you have brain fog, you've got hormonal issues like low sex drive, anxiety, weight gain, the good news is these are fixable. Go to livelongerformula.com/macro and book a free health assessment with my friend Christian Yordanev. Christian is a longevity author and functional health practitioner. He will help you get your gut working smoothly, detox yourself, boost your testosterone, sleep like a baby, function at your best, because you deserve to be at your best and thrive, not just survive through the impending apocalypse. Go to livelongerformula.com/macro where you can watch his latest free masterclass on the 7 deadly health fads that are shortening your life. And after watching this masterclass, if his approach resonates with you, you can book a free metabolic functions assessment with Christian so he can help you identify the root cause of your health problems. I've done that with him. It's like opening up the hood and seeing what's going on in your engine. Make sure you mention my name when you're booking your session. You'll get a free gift if you decide to work with him to optimize your health and longevity. Go to livelongerformula.com/macro and take control of your health right now. Well, back on the program, ladies and gentlemen, is the great Steve Poikonen from AM Wake Up. Hello, Steve. How are you?
Man, I'm fantastic, Charlie. Thank you for having me back. It is always good to spend some time with you, and I'm looking forward to hanging out in person again this year.
Yeah. We normally do this, we do it online from time to time, of course, but we've been pretty good about getting together in person. I think, and we'll talk about Third Eye Carnival in Pueblo as well, because I'm adamant that we've got to do the live events. You just have to get in front of people, like-minded people. It does something for you. It's like, you know how like when you go out camping, and you're like, oh, I never go camping. Then you go camping, you're like, why don't I do this more often? This is fantastic. I should incorporate this into my life, and yet I don't. And I always feel so much better after I do it. It's great. You get in touch with nature. I put that in the same category of these live events. You go to the live event, it's a pain, it can be a pain depending on geographically where you are, how much money you have to spend or whatnot. I got to fly there or I have to drive there. And you can rationalize all the reasons why you shouldn't do it or can't do it or you'll do it next time or, whatever. And then, but you talk yourself into going and you go. And at the end you go, I love this. Why aren't we doing this all the time? So I'm glad that you're doing these live events. We've had some fun in Pueblo before last summer for the Third Eye Carnival Pueblo at the Blowback Gallery. We did it a couple of months ago in Nashville, Third Eye, Nashville, and now back again in Pueblo. Let's talk about this. What should people expect this time around? 4th of July in Colorado?
Heck yeah. Well, like you said, dude, it's our 3rd year back in Pueblo this year. And you've been a part of all of these, and I can't thank you enough for that.
It's my pleasure, man. I love it. This is, I'm glad geographically it's like an hour and a half away from me, but like, I love them.
Yeah. If you haven't been out yet, or if you haven't been to the Blowback Gallery, shame on you. Shame on you.
Yeah.
But yeah, down in Pueblo, Colorado, there's an amazing art gallery called The Blowback. It's owned by a tremendous human being named Jeff Medine. And for the 3rd year in a row, we're going to be back there, freaking rocking out all weekend. 4th of July falls on a Friday.
Yep.
And every year at the Blowback Gallery on the first Friday of July, Jeff hosts something called the Truth Art Show. So, you can usually find something provocative or invocative of, the type of reality that you and I deal with at any art gallery that you go into, but have something specifically centered around that, I think is really cool. And then to have Third Eye Carnival, which is basically, the whole formula is a form of art. And then some real conversations about real issues, and that's a Third Eye Carnival with, a focus on getting everybody out and together as kind of a community building exercise. So piggybacking off the True Show, we're going to have a series of bands on Friday night. On Saturday, we're going to do some live podcasting in the afternoon, more music at night. And then Sunday, we're going back to music again. We had stand-up comedy in Nashville, but I kind of want to keep Pueblo as local music focused as possible. It's one of those areas, Denver, Colorado Springs, Pueblo, a whole ton of live local music, and it's really hard to get people out to go see it. When it's like just a random band or two, maybe even 3. But if you've got 13 together all at once, you got a little bit of something for everybody. And then you have a way for people to, you know, look around, see that there's other people in their community that are out there. There's a commonality with the music. There's a commonality with the conversation. Now you've suddenly expanded your 3-dimensional offline social network exponentially, and hopefully your life is much better as a result.
Yeah. Jeff Medine's Blowback Gallery is like if a conspiracy theorist built an art gallery.
Yep.
It is amazing. Our audience will really appreciate it to walk in there, and there's some interactive components of it too. You get a small little, almost like a bocce ball, and you've got to knock over like bowling. You throw it and knock over the Georgia Guidestones. You have to knock that. There's the Twin Towers. You have to try and knock down the Twin Towers with these paper airplanes that they've got. They're paper airplanes wrapped in duct tape that make them fly. But funny, they don't seem to knock those buildings down, which is weird, because I was told in New York about 20 years ago that you could take a building down with an airplane, but I don't know. It's true. We had
a beanbag toss that was like Marmot Zelensky, and you were tossing beanbags of cocaine into his nostrils.
Right.
Yeah.
It was one of them was cocaine, and the other one was bags of coins, like gold coins, and you would throw it.
All of the Carnival games were supplied by Angela Anderson, who does the Marmot cartoons. And the Marmot calendars and stuff like that. And yeah, if you're a calendar person, get a Marmot calendar, because it comes with a whole set of stickers for you to like set on individual days when there's a new psyop for that day that year. You can just mark them and jot them. There's a whole note section so you can remember, because these things are hitting us like rapid fire.
If you're not into calendars, but you are into marmots, also get a calendar.
That's fair.
Too.
That's fair.
That works. Yeah, but it's very interactive. The venue's perfect for it. I mean, it's a great venue. It's got a good, a good stage and a good indoor area for bands. Are we having food trucks again this year?
Yeah, in fact, a couple of the food truck vendors have already reached out, and we'll have people there every day, hoping we can get the beverage people back too, because they were delightful. We had like, I don't know, some kind of like multiple fresh squeezed juices over ice, and it was, it gets hot in Pueblo over 4th of July weekend. It does. Nice to have a cold refreshment.
I had something I had never had before. It was the ultimate stoner dinner. Good thing I was stoned when I had it too, but it was a grilled cheese sandwich with macaroni and cheese inside it. I was like, oh my God. I mean, clearly somebody was baked to come up with that idea. I appreciate it.
Have you ever been to Fat Shack when you're out in Vegas?
No.
Okay, so I think it's let's see, leaving like South Point and going to Henderson. What was that, South Las Vegas Boulevard that goes all the way up?
Yep.
Okay, yep. It's there just a couple of blocks down the road from the South Point. There's like a Goodwill on one side and a Salvation Army on the other. And on the Goodwill side, there's a little strip mall. Back there's a restaurant called Fat Shack, and it's designed around stoner food. Like they won on Shark Tank for having like a complete stoner menu. Awesome. And it's like they have sandwiches called like the doobie and stuff. And there's a lot of mac and cheese. They do deep fried cheesecake. Like, it's ridiculous. It really is. Let's see, I'm looking it up right now. But yeah, the Fat Andy, the Fat Chance, let's see, the Fat Doobie is chicken fingers, french fries, onion rings, mozzarella stick in a freaking, like, sub roll.
I love it. Yeah, the ingenuity of stoners is never ceases to amaze me, especially when it comes to food. How we didn't burn down the entire house at some point in my college days is beyond me, but everything, as far as I recall, everything stayed upright. Maybe not me. What are the bands? Spiderland coming?
Spiderland will be back this year. PID will be back this year. The Assault Shakers will be back this year. And we have a bunch of new for us bands this year, too. Chronic Funk Disorder, which is just like the coolest band name.
I don't know what they're going to play, but I'm down for it.
I'll imagine it'll be funky.
I hope so.
There's
serious false advertising.
A couple of different like one-man band acts. One of them's called Blood Belly Blues. This dude's a freaking savage. RV Casino, Noah Daniel. Let's see, who else?
Who came from out of state last time? Who were the black guys in the punk band?
Terror
from,
Attack.
Alabama. Okay.
Yeah, and they actually blew up a little bit over the last year. They were playing Fat Mike from NoFX's Punk Rock Bowling not too long ago, and they're on tour in a different part of country, so they're not going to be around this year. Which, you know, I mean, but those guys threw down.
Yeah.
And let's see. I think all in all, it's a total of 13 bands. We're waiting on confirmation from like one or two other people. And then Corey Hughes will be skipping a Fish show, Charlie.
Oh, will he?
He's skipping a night of Fish to come hang out with us in Pueblo on Saturday and do a panel and kick it. Yeah.
Nice. Well, I'm bringing Tease with me. He's going to be, I guess I could probably, maybe I've mentioned it before, but he is still in the process of following me around for a mini documentary. We've done that in Acapulco and Nashville, and he'll be out here to stay with me in the 4 days leading up to that, and then we're going to head down together. If Corey can make it to my house, I'll grab him too, but we're going to make it down to Pueblo for a couple days as well, and then I'll put Teese on an airplane to Philly after that. So I think he's got to go do more filming. That guy's... Do you see... I'm assuming you saw his Derek Bros mini documentary?
Oh, it's great.
It's great, man.
Yeah, no, he did an awesome job. Teese is an amazing filmmaker. He really is.
He really is. I watched Hold Me, his real serious film. Actually had him on to talk about that. Like... You know, I mean, we know Teese, we love Teese, we hang out with him, you know, and talk to him and everything, and he's just like a normal guy. You might be fooled into not knowing how amazing of a director he is, but watch his movie Hold Me, and you're like, that's as good as any great movie you've ever seen.
Yeah.
You just, I guess you maybe expect, like, the director to be, like, in Hollywood or something, and Teese is not, but, the Grimerica. Well, watching the Grimerica mini documentary I was like, he did such a good job with that. And then he said, "Would you be interested in being a part of this?" So I was like, after watching what you did with that one, hell yeah! Like I know it's gonna be fantastic. The Hervoye one as well.
The one he did on Hervoye, I think, is my favorite so far, in terms of the like story that's being told in it.
Exactly. It goes to his university where he was a professor and gives you a nice little cultural moment showing you around Guadalajara, and Hervoye and I have hung out on several occasions. We've had tacos in Austin, tacos in Acapulco, but I'm excited to see Teese. I don't, we'll see. I'm dragging him to a Rockies game. I got tickets to a Rockies game. I'm like, he's like, that's baseball? I was like, oh, Teese.
Oh, yeah. No, yesterday.
It's barely baseball, considering their record. They are about to set the record for the fewest wins since the late 1800s in Major League Baseball right now.
Right.
So,
brand new scandal in Major League Baseball involving performance inhibiting drugs.
Right. Yeah. Everybody in the Rockies is too high in the outfield to do anything other than pick grass, and dandelions.
Right. They got them all on ecstasy and fentanyl now.
Well, you know what's funny about that is that I had a buddy of mine who I knew back in my Hermosa Beach days. Mob Charlie, we called him. We had to differentiate because I couldn't, there were two Charlies.
Yeah.
And he looked like a straight up gangster guy, one of those guys. And he was our bookie. He was the bookie for the area. Everybody, if you wanted to bet, this is 2001, right around then, before DraftKings and all this stuff. And so if you wanted to lay a bet down, you had to go through Mob Charlie. Well, Mob Charlie became friends with a bunch of guys on the San Diego Padres for some reason. And the Padres were wrapping up the season was ending. It was like the last week of September. The Padres were wrapping it up. They were in LA to play the Dodgers. And Mob Charlie took all of his San Diego Padres friends out all night. They all did unbelievable amounts of ecstasy at nightclubs or out at rave, like a Saturday night, and then they had a day game the following day, a Sunday day game.
Heck yeah.
And he laid off he bet against the team. He then bet with his other bookie friends as much as he could against the Padres that day, because he knew, I've been out with these guys all night. They're going to be in no position to play the game, and they got slaughtered, and of course he did well. So sometimes you have to rig the playing field, I guess, with
that's awesome.
if you can.
With that old Lawrence Taylor mojo.
Uh-huh.
And that the rumor that LT
Lawrence
would
Taylor
send
seemed
like hookers and blow
better.
to the opposing quarterback's hotel room before a game.
Oh, did he do that?
That's the rumor. That was his MO. Was there'd be a big game and LT would have a couple of call girls and some party favors sent over to quarterback and key receiver, star running back, something like that, key defensive player, just sort of keep them up all night and take them out of the game.
Nice. I actually kind of respect that. That's the level of thinking that's going to be required to defeat the New World Order. We're going to need Lawrence Taylor on our side.
Right. Maybe we should be kinder to sex workers, Charlie.
I try to be. As I'm throwing them out of my house head first. Get out, you whore.
Right. I said time's up. It's when you know you're serious about your sex worker maintenance, when you're the one setting the timer. It's not her lighting the cigarette like Taxi Driver. It's you. It's you. Yeah. I'm a busy man.
What's going on in AM Wake Up world?
So thanks to you, my co-host on Monday, Charles, and I had probably our funniest bit of the week, because it was, we played that autism reveal video that I saw that you had posted.
Yeah.
And Charlie, we turned this into 12 minutes of comedy gold. We really did. Which I highly recommend everybody go watch Monday's Wake Up. But I mean, at its core, you had someone who got convinced to pay somebody else almost $2,000 to take a test to tell them whether or not they were a retard. And I posit that the test was taken and completed about the time the $1,800 cleared.
Oh, yeah.
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 Yeah. That's your test right there.
He wanted to find out. He was a quirky guy, and he wanted to find out if he was autistic or not. Right. And I guess maybe enough people in his world had, we're catching this out of context, of course, but it appears that maybe his group of friends had told him, you're on the spectrum for sure. Your mannerisms, the sort of things that you want to do. And then you watch the video, it's like a minute and a half or something. And clearly he's a quirky guy who probably, he had to put the headphones on so he wouldn't be overstimulated. He was doing all the things that would make you think that he was on the spectrum. And I guess he gets the gender reveal, the autism reveal, and he's not on the spectrum, but it comes in the form of his friends all wheeling out a cake for him. And the cake, in a nod to Michael Malice with his show You're Welcome, it doesn't say you apostrophe RE Y-O-U_R-E, you're retarded. It says Y-O-U-R, you're retarded that way. And when I saw that, I just burst out laughing. I was like, that is exactly what my friends would do to me. If I had gotten it in my head that I was autistic and I was going to spend $1,800 to do a test and throw a big party to have the big reveal and everything, my friends would get me a cake that said, you're retarded, and have fun staying poor, probably at the bottom, and icing somewhere too, as well, for doing something like that.
But no, dude, that was absolutely freaking hysterical. And we're doing our thing, man. We're trying to stay, a little bit ahead of everybody else, trying to remain as, consistent as possible, and keep cranking out a hilarious morning show that, manages to frequently keep you informed months to years ahead of your peers.
Yeah. You're always ahead. There's no doubt that you're always ahead of everybody else, but it's like, can we be ahead and be funny? And the answer is absolutely.
That's the challenge, man. That's what, that not having a real format, having to basically improv the thing every day keeps it, at least to me so far, fresh. We haven't really done anything totally formulaic yet. We've got repeat co-hosts, people that populate the show that are, frequent flyers and stuff like that. But, we barely repeat clips, let alone delve into any kind of formulaic structure. And I thrive in that kind of chaos. So it's still fun for me.
There's so much to talk about. There's so much going on. I feel like there were periods of my life where there wasn't a ton happening. It was relatively normal from one year to the next. And now I feel like from month to month, I'm destabilized and uncertain about the future and where things are going. And everything feels like it's like if it was a curve, it just feels like the curve is exponential, where everything is happening faster and faster. And it gets crazier and crazier as well. And it's tempting to want to get concerned about this future. But then I watch AM Wake Up and I get the information about why I should be concerned about the future, but it's delivered in a way that's funny. So you tend to not worry about it as much. We understand it. You lay out the points. It's not that you're being dismissive of it, but the ability to have a good laugh while you're narrating from the apocalypse is quite a talent you've got, Steve.
Shucks, thank you, man. I think I do. I think it's important to have that kind of balance, and also the show would just be 3 hours of me screaming to the void otherwise, and nobody's gonna watch that. Let alone form any sort of independent community of their own based off of it. And that is what's happened, especially with the carnivals and things like that. And they're expanding now. When I first started talking to you about this stuff, the idea was we wanted to have a whole bunch of different carnivals in a whole bunch of different places all over the U.S. because there's a whole lot of people that need to be reminded of the fact that they're not freaking alone. And so after we get back from Pueblo, we're going to go to work on one in El Paso, Texas.
Nice.
Trying to for September, late September.
Tinfoil Hat Girl hooking that up for you?
Yeah. So shout out to Rachel, Tinfoil Hat Girl, for that. She got us, found us a venue. I'm talking to a couple of Vegas comic buddies of mine who grew up in that area. And also have comedian friends that are still around there. And a couple of people that are in various different bands. I would love to get a Metalachi thing going on. Are you familiar with Metalachi?
I am not.
Okay. So it's a 9 to 13 piece band, depending on, what's going on when they're touring. And half of it's electric, half of it is all traditional mariachi instruments, along with an accordion, and they do nothing but metal covers.
This is, I would put this in the same category as the Trans-Siberian Orchestra.
Sure.
Maybe.
Sure. Yeah, but with, electric guitars and the mariachi instruments. And dude, they're so much fun. The first time I saw these guys, I'm not kidding, it was at a tractor pull just outside of Stockton, California.
I'm already there in my mind.
It was grimy, Charlie Robinson. It was grimy. And I mean, just, picture like in basically a mud field, a whole bunch of rednecks and Mexicans all together, hanging out, having a great old time, jamming out to a like the Metallica freaking And Justice for All album, played mostly on mariachi instruments.
Oh my God. I spent a lot of time around construction sites working in new home sales for a decade. So I'm familiar with mariachi. You can't have it without the accordion.
No.
I'm here. I'm no expert in mariachi music, but I know that much, for fuck's sake. You got to have the accordion. So is it like an electric accordion? Is there such a thing?
There are like electric accordion or plug-in acoustic electric accordions. Usually it's just like a double mic setup.
Gotcha.
And they've got it, they've got a competent sound guy. But I mean, just, long-haired, like metal as hell, dirty Mexican freaking Central Valley rockers, dude. It's great. It's great.
That was my next question, was what was the hair length going to be? Because when your mariachi is not typically long-haired.
No, they're high and tight.
Yeah, it's helmets, work helmets, OSHA required. And then, but metal, that's a different story. These two delicious, you've got your chocolate and my peanut butter, and your peanut butter and my chocolate. These things go well together, metal and mariachi. This is not something I would put together, but I've also been surprised in the past before. This works well together, this flavor combo.
On paper, it's a head scratcher, man. I'll give you that. I will. On paper, it's a definite head scratcher. But in the moment, you just can't help but have a good time. You can't. And I've been developing, kind of a working theory that the American blue collar class has shifted almost entirely to Mexican Americans. Mm-hmm. There's pockets of old school blue collar America where you've got, an Irish dad beating the hell out of mom every night and just 17 kids running around and stuff like that.
Sure.
But for the most part, that's disappeared from white America, and it's all found a very comfortable little home among the Latina community.
Nice.
And it's like their home, dude. They are perfectly comfortable in that role. And, I don't know, more fun, better parties, way more relaxed atmosphere. I've been to a couple of, IT community cookouts and stuff like that. And they're not as much fun as going to the carne, I don't know.
Yeah.
We could take it back. We could, or we could join them. I did. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. I'm down. So if you can get that sort of musical combination in El Paso at the future El Paso shows, that would probably work for that demographic.
Heck yeah, dude. Heck yeah. Looking to Vegas for this winter, trying to narrow down a location. It's down to 4, and we're trying to see if, who's going to bend us over the least on use of space.
Whereabouts in Vegas? Like downtown? I mean, you obviously can't do much on the Strip.
Oh, no. The either private residence or somewhere in the Arts District. Those are the possible working venues right now.
Yeah, they do a First Friday down there downtown, food trucks and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
It's usually a pretty good vibe. It would fit downtown Las Vegas. Downtown Las Vegas is way different than what most people envision as the Strip. Down there. That's downtown is where you get the random lunatic who's got his shirt off and he's twirling and doing all that.
We went to go to Wise Guys Comedy, which is like right in between downtown and the Strip. It's like,
Stratosphere area.
No, it's not like Northside. It's location itself is like but it's like more on the downtown side than the Strip side.
Gotcha.
And I'm walking up with Teal and Sugar, and it's my birthday, and we're getting ready to go see Ryan Long, which I highly recommend, by the way. If you've never seen Ryan Long do stand up, please, for the love of God, go see that show. It is phenomenal. The dude is probably my favorite working comedian that I've seen and seen regularly in the modern era. No offense, Sam. No, he's good. I
did Danny's show one night. We had a good time. Danny Polishnik, who, if you're familiar with Ryan Long's comedy, you'll often see Danny involved in it. I don't know. Is he the camera guy? He's in it a lot, but
oh, dude, Danny's his co-host on Boys Cast. Danny does these hilarious like AI things. I'm sure you've seen a couple of them. Mm-hmm. Where he'll write the script for it, and then it'll be an AI voice doing, some newscaster or politician or something like that. Absolutely hilarious. He's funny as hell. He's in a bunch of the sketches. I'm sure he's behind the camera for some of it. But that dude's got good stand-up too. Yeah. But yeah, so we're walking up to Wise Guys. We're smoking a joint. We're on a side street. I'm smoking a joint, minding our own business, walking up, and all of a sudden we hear, get the fuck back, get back now! And there's like 4 Vegas Metro cops. They've all got guns and tasers out on a dude who's, Charlie, 12 feet away from us in the bushes with a very large machete. Also shirtless. Yeah. And he had been walking around the area, like, waving around and menacing people with the machete with his shirt off for quite a while before we got there. But, like, we almost got shot and or tased just walking through the back parking lot on the way to the comedy club. And we're like, oh, it's going to be a good night.
Yeah. Well, Vegas cops love to shoot and or tase people.
Yeah, they do.
As often as they can.
Yeah, they do. Those guys are out of pocket, man.
Those guys are a true gang. Las Vegas Metro. One of the most corrupt police forces in America.
I mean, when your town is built by the mob, you're probably going to have a corrupt police force.
Again, yeah, that makes it. Sheriff Gillespie, people might recognize him from the Vegas shooting.
Mm-hmm.
He went on to have Agent Rouse scared the shit out of him during that news conference, and then he quieted down quite a bit, and then later ran for governor, right?
Mm-hmm.
Senate, governor. I don't know, one of those.
Yeah, he did.
Titles. Yeah. That's what happens when you play ball and let the feds run the investigation, air quotes.
They had somebody involved, FBI in the Vegas shooting, right? That was down in Maui during the fires, investigating that. Yeah, they just rotate these guys around like priests.
Yeah. That was one of the things that I didn't know about Las Vegas before I moved there, was that the holy triumvirate of casinos, police, and media work hand in hand to suppress any stories of anything negative. Not everything, to the extent that they can. Just about anything negative that happens inside those casinos. I think the media is not even allowed to go in, or have some sort of arrangement where they have to coordinate through the media coordinator of the hotel and the police. Like if a guy, I don't know, jumps off the roof or something, and you notice that there are no operable windows in Las Vegas for very good reason. But, somebody kills themselves, or somebody robs somebody in the lobby, or whatever it is. And it never makes it on the nightly news, never makes it in the papers or anything like that. They keep that under wraps, and the police are, of course, a integral part of that fuckery. But
when I was in Vegas, we were watching a couple of Instagram live streamers that had scanners, and they were just showing up to active incidents and documenting it, just auditing. They weren't saying a word, anything like that. Because I'm sure it's exactly because of this, because it's all kept out of the press. I'm talking about the windows not opening. A few years back when we had the AM Wake Up studio there, and I was doing the show with Pasta, Pasta has known and been, pretty good friends with Jimmy Dore for quite a while. And Jimmy came through Vegas, did a stand-up show there, gave Pasta and I, was, nice enough to give us comp tickets to that. And we went and hung out afterwards, and we're up in, Jimmy's room, and it's, me, Pasta, him, his wife, and this dude, Mike, that opened for him. And we're smoking a couple of joints and stuff like that. And Jimmy didn't remember or realize that the windows don't open. So we're just hotboxing the fuck out of this hotel room for like a solid half hour, 45 minutes before Steph looks up and she's like, it's really smoky in here. What's going on? Look, oh, the fucking windows don't open.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good times. Good times.
Yeah.
That was funny.
Yeah. You make that mistake once. Oh yeah. They don't open because people will throw themselves off out of those windows after they've lost their house payment down at the blackjack table.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah,
seen it happen. I had a guy I used to work with who was an old timer. This was 20 years ago when I knew him, and he was in his late 60s back then. But he had grown up working as a blackjack dealer and a baccarat dealer in casinos, Caesars in the 60s or 70s. And he had some amazing Vegas stories. He was talking about a guy who probably wanted to kill himself. He had a guy who was in for a conference, and he was talking about I was asking, tell me some stories about, good luck that you've seen and incredibly bad luck that you've seen. And I've never played baccarat, but essentially it's one of those games where it's like the odds are like a coin flip. You're either with the player or you're with the bank.
Okay.
And you pick one or the other. And the idea that you're going to get one right is like essentially a coin flip. This guy took out a $50,000 line of credit. And the way he told the story was that this guy still hadn't even checked into his room yet. He was waiting for the room to be available, and it was like one of those things like, oh, I'll just go to the casino. So he still had his bags with him. And this is like, I don't know, I want to say in the 70s. So it's a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
So $50,000.
Yeah.
The maximum limit you could play was $2,000 a hand. He said to me, I have never in my life seen this. This goes against all statistical probability. But he said that guy played $2,000 a hand. He played 25 hands and lost all 25 of them in a row.
Wow.
He said, I've never seen anything quite like that. Didn't win a single hand. And the idea that's like flipping a coin 25 times and guessing it correctly, let's say, or guessing it incorrectly, every single time. Oh my God, that's nuts. So sometimes, if you go down there and you're not planning on losing $50,000 because, math, it's kind of hard to. Every now and then, the house wins, and
you do. Yeah, the whole time I was in Vegas, I only gambled like a couple of times, and it was only on some slots. And I went on maybe like 5 dates the whole time I was in Vegas. At 2 of them, they wanted to gamble. The chicks wanted to gamble. I'm like, all right, sure, okay.
Yeah, it's not my thing. Every now and then I would. I played craps one night with Flavor Flav.
That'd be fun, just for the experience.
Yeah, at the South Point, as you know,
that's where you'd be.
Yeah, it was fun. I was like, what are you doing here? He's like, I live here. I'm like, oh, okay.
Like here at the South Point? Because I'd believe that, Flav. I would.
Yeah, he got it in his head that I was good luck for some reason, which is, I guess, better than getting it in your head that I'm bad luck. But he was having a hell of a night. But I just never got into. I never could really gamble all that much. And as big of a sports fan as I am, and having the sports book right there, I could have been set up for a catastrophe if I had been somebody that really got into sports gambling and was bad at it. So luckily, I think the best things that could have ever happened to me was like in my early 20s, losing on a few sports books, or you do like a 3-game parlay, you win the first 2 and then you lose the third leg on some bullshit play and you're like, you know what, I'm fucking done.
Yep.
I'm never doing this again. I think that's the best thing that could happen to you. I think the worst thing that can happen to you is if you win your first time around.
Oh,
you go,
for sure.
This is easy. I'm just going to triple my money here every time I go to the casino. Oh yeah, good luck with that.
Yeah. Oh, it's a walk in the park. Happens every time. I got a system.
Yeah, right, I got a system. Yeah, well, your system didn't. Yeah, I'll tell you what. You know who's got a system? The people who built this $2 billion casino. They have a system. It works really well. It separates you from your money, and it's called math and statistical probability and game theory. And if you don't understand those things, you're screwed.
Oh, dude.
I'm glad I didn't get into that. Didn't get into the sports, especially now with sports betting on your phones. Holy shit.
Well, and every aspect of sports entertainment is now centered around gambling. Like it barely has anything to do with, athletes competing anymore. It's all about what you can do on DraftKings or what you can do, in football and all the places where they have fantasy teams and stuff like that. Like it's really, I think it's taken a lot of the gameplay aspect out of the game, and now it's more so than ever geared on individual. Not that it wasn't geared towards individual performance, because that's how you get bonuses, that's how you make your career and stuff like that. But there was always some aspect of this is a team game, and with the focus on betting over the last few years, I really do feel like that's been stripped almost entirely away from professional sports. It's a shame to me. I'm sure the people that are hooked on gambling and in it for the thrill of that, they love it. But I don't know. It's not the same.
No, I've been in a same fantasy football league for like 20 years. Well, actually since 2001, so 24 years. And we'll put $100 in each team, at the beginning of the season and divvy that up and have some fun with it. But that's about the extent, I'm just not interested in. I'm not interested in compromising my love of sports, of watching sports too. I don't want to get to the point where I can't watch it because I don't have any money on it, or I can't watch it because I'm remembering last week when I got wrecked, on some bullshit outcome. So I don't know. I stay out of it.
Have you done the Doc Ellis Day to the baseball game before the ballpark before?
You mean taking acid and showing up to a baseball game?
Yeah.
I have not. Would you care to enlighten the audience on who Doc Ellis was and what this magical bastard did one day?
So back in 1970, for the Pittsburgh Pirates, there was a guy pitching for him named Doc Ellis, and they had a game against the San Diego Padres, and like 2 days before on their off day, like, because in, baseball, you've got off days, you've got travel days, and you've got game days, right? So travel days don't really count as off days because you have to travel. So this would be 2 days prior to the game. On the off day, he decides that he's going to get a little loose. And again, this is 1970, Major League Baseball. So he pops some LSD, parties for a little bit and then gets woken up by his friend's girlfriend or his friend's wife. According to him, there's a great animation, with Doc Ellis narrating it on YouTube where he's telling the story from his point of view. And it's absolutely hilarious. But yeah, basically like he gets woke up by his friend's girlfriend and she's like, "Yo, dude, what are you doing sleeping? Like, you got a pitch today." And he's like, "No, I don't. I got a pitch tomorrow." And she's like, "Dude, tomorrow is today. Here's the paper. Like, you're up, buddy." And so according to him, what had happened was he, sometime in the middle of the night, had decided he was going to eat a little bit more. And so he was higher than giraffe pussy, on the whole flight out, getting back to the ballpark and getting up there to go pitch. And this dude, after throwing balls in the dirt, wild pitches, hitting dudes, after 9 innings, managed to throw a complete no-hitter on LSD.
Yep.
Thus catapulting him into the annals of sports legend. And the sole reason that you would see people walking around Grateful Dead parking lots wearing a Doc Ellis jersey or a Doc Ellis shirt. Yeah, that's who you knew to go talk to.
Yeah, Doc Ellis, man. There's part of me that can actually understand it. If you can get yourself to, physically, let's say that you didn't have like, you weren't like running on 2 hours of sleep. Let's say you were, took a couple hits of acid in the morning. You had a 1 o'clock day game. You get up on the mound. Let's say you're functional and everything, but to be that dialed in, I can actually understand it on a certain level as long as nobody messes with you. You can get yourself into a groove where you could see everything in a much different way. You could make the pitches do what you want them to do. I mean, I personally would be throwing the ball into the crowd more than likely. But then again, I've been around a lot of professional baseball players. I worked in Major League Baseball, and I know that those guys are also professional partiers too. Yeah. I mean, I went out with I was working in '93 for the Rockies in the clubhouse of first spring training they ever had, Tucson. And Daryl Boston's on the team, big black dude. He goes, "Chucky, we taking you out with the brothers tonight. You want to come out with the brothers tonight?" I was like, "Sure." Right? I'm like 20.
Yeah.
I'm working there. I'm an unpaid intern who's like shining shoes and washing jock straps. If there's a totem pole, I am at the bottom of the totem pole. Do I want to go hang out with a bunch of the brothers on the team? Fuck yeah, let's see what happens. So we go out. They said, "Well, we're going to the Hotel Congress downtown Tucson."
Yeah. Right?
We're going to be there tonight. You come in, you find us. I come in. So I show up, I get in. I go walk in the bar. They're all sitting at the bar. Daryl Boston grabs the bartender. He points at me. He goes, "Anything this man wants, you put it on my card." I was like, "Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate that." So we get in there drinking a little bit, sitting on the chairs next to him, and I watch this beautiful blonde come right through, snaking her way through the dance floor, and you can see her coming a mile away. Walks right up to me, grabs me, just starts kissing me, and then she goes, "Sorry, I just had to do it," and then walks off. And I go, "Fuck."
She thought you were on the team.
And Daryl goes, "She thought you were on the team." I was like, this is gonna be awesome. I was specifically instructed, though, before I started working, do not ever pretend like you're on the team. Don't sign autographs.
Right.
If someone asks you for an autograph, don't do any of that. And so I'll tell you, I got a taste of what it's like to be a pro athlete that night. Cause I was about the same age, I look like I could have been on the team. It's like Club and Seals, I guess, if you're those guys.
Yeah.
But they were partying. I mean, we were out all night long. It was very, very late or early, I guess, however you want to define it, when I left there, and I had to be at the stadium the next day, and I was so hungover. And these guys come in, they're like, "Hey, what's going on? Good to see you last night." And they're just ready to rock. I'm like, "How do you do it?" They're like, "We're professionals." You know? Like, in every way in which you can be a professional, right? So professional partiers too.
You got to up your game a little bit.
You've got to. And I was unprepared for that level of game, admittedly. So.
When I was doing Renaissance festivals, I don't know, 25 years ago or whatever, we my job was human taxi, right? Like it was called a cabriolet, and it was the Renaissance era version of like a rickshaw. So instead of being bamboo and like bicycle tires, this thing is made out of oak and freaking has big iron wheels. And they're like over 300 pounds empty. The ones in Texas have golf cart suspension on them to accommodate for Texan asses. It's because sometimes you could get up to like 1,400 pounds of Texan in there.
Yeah.
And that's a lot. So you had these big long yoke arms that went out with a crossbar in front of it. And one guy would be up front pulling. And then in the back of the cab, there was like a little metal bar that somebody else would hold on to and push in order to get it moving, because you're, going uphill and stuff like that, and it's just your leg power plus however much weight you have in it that's moving it. And one of the things that we offered was we'll just be your, tour guides and your personal wheels around this 20-some acre property all day. And this is the all-day price to rent us. We'll cut in front of the line at every pub. If you want to go on a guided drinking tour, which a lot of people did, we're cutting in front of everybody, and you're getting served first and all that kind of stuff. And these two sisters who bartended at a strip club in Fort Worth, Texas, hired us for the day, and they're like, "You got to come to the club." You do. So we grabbed a couple of friends, got dressed up, went out to the club. And it was one of those like strip clubs where the dancers just like hold the pole and sway. It was boring as shit. Like just complete. So we just sat at the bar the whole time because that's where the people we knew were anyway. They were the bartenders. And so we're at a strip club drinking for free, talking convivially to the bartenders. So the strippers think we're a band. And it just, this rumor populated itself at the club. By the end of the night, 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning, all of the dancers think that we are somehow, famous musicians. So they're treating us like that. Nice. And we're like, this could get really dangerous. Honestly, we're just idiots. We still have good drugs and we're still a lot of fun. Sure. But at no point are you going to wind up in a music video over this, and they're like, well, if that's the case. Like, dude, but it was, all it took was one little whisper, more attention. We got more attention than the poll did.
I bet.
We over nothing.
I went to, we went to Cheetah's in Vegas one night, all dressed as sheiks.
Okay. That'll do it.
And we had pouches filled with gold coins that had like the chocolate that's wrapped in the gold foil, looks like gold coins.
Mm-hmm.
Handing those out to we had we had really good authentic costumes on, sunglasses, and one of our sheiks was Taiwanese. Nobody asked any questions about that, of course, but the rest of us are honkies, which nobody asked any questions about that as well. And so you haven't lived until you've walked into a strip club where everybody thinks that you're like Kuwaiti royalty or something, you know what I mean? So they were sadly disappointed. Although the one, this is like Thursday night, late Thursday night. It's the JV team essentially at Cheetah's, Like it wasn't really the best.
Second string.
And one of the funnier moments of one of those little snippets of life that you get where you realize I'm going to remember this forever was a real mess of a stripper sitting on my buddy's lap next to me, and she's got like Bell's palsy, so like the half of her face is like frozen on one side, which is not the best when you're stripping, not the best when you're just anything, but especially stripping. And there's a pile of gold foil in front of her, and she's got chocolate all over the side of her mouth that she can't feel. And she's sitting on my friend's lap, and my friend jokingly says, "Bitch, quit eating all my chocolate," like that. And she looked at him with chocolate all over the frozen side of her face. And I came completely unglued.
Yes!
And that was pretty much, we were asked to leave after that. But
it's fucking beautiful. I can still remember my buddy Evil Joe looking over at me because there was a stripper on his lap. He's like, he like leans over and, whisper yells. So I'm sure she could hear all of it too. He was like, the girl is sitting on my lap, has curly red hair, blue eyes, and dimples, just missing 5 teeth. This was a different club. This was not the one in Texas. This was in North Carolina. Name of the club was Twin Peaks, and it was what my buddy Evil Joe, who was a strip club aficionado, described as a level 4. Now, level 4 is where you walk in and your feet do kind of stick to the floor, but you're not stepping over needles.
Okay.
In order to get to the bar. Yeah. So, not totally class less, but definitely not class E. It was that particular establishment. And Joe was forever on the quest for the stripper with the heart of gold.
Well, good luck finding her. We wound up in Tijuana one night, as you do, and with a group of people. This was 30 years ago or so, and my friend is with us, and he says, we should go. We went to some bars, and he's like, we should go to this strip bar. It's right around the corner. We're like, how do you know it's right around the corner? He goes, well, I was actually here with my brother like a week ago or 2 weeks ago, and we wound up at this bar, and we were like, it's a strip club. It's real close to here. We should go. We're like, all right, fine. So we go in, and you pay, and you go down some stairs, and you go through move the curtains out of the way, and you come right into the strip club. And it was one of those.
It sounds like the opening to From Dusk Till Dawn.
It felt kind of like that. And there was no Salma Hayek. I'll tell you that right now. That wasn't happening. Not in this place. It had this really disgusting stench to it. But what was happening, it was one of those record scratch moments where we open the curtain, we all walk out, straight out. You feel like everybody in the place is looking at you because you've just walked in. There is a fat stripper on the stage right in front of us, and she is disgusting looking, right? She turns around, takes one look at all of us, looks at my friend who's standing next to me, and she goes, "Hey, Johnny!" And we all just look at him all simultaneously at the same time. We're like, what the fuck? How does she know your name? And he goes, dude, it was a long night.
That had to have been a long night, my friend.
Whoa, why does that lady know your name?
She's so, hey, Bill!
From that point on, Johnny, we had some questions for him about what he saw the week before. Yeah.
Oh, that's hilarious, man. That's hilarious.
Strip club culture is fun. I never really enjoyed. I'm not a big spender. I always, much like government, I know that the stripper is telling me what I want to hear just to get my money.
Yeah.
So I never really fell into that trap. I know some people who did and spent a lot of money at those places, but they were always like at the end of the night when we're all kind of like ready for an adventure, go in there, stay for 35 minutes and get the fuck out and go somewhere else.
You ever date a stripper? Ever have that headache in your life?
No, I did not.
Okay.
No, I have not done that.
Okay, that's good on you. Good on you. Yeah.
No, listen, there was a period in my life where I most definitely would have.
Sure.
But I just didn't really get, I didn't really have that opportunity present itself. Probably for the best.
If there are young men listening, I would advise against that. I would. Very, very rarely have I ever seen that work out in anyone's favor.
It's not a good thing. And also for the ladies who are listening, if your boyfriend is like, I'm going to a strip club, and you're like, oh no, you're not. My feeling on that is let him go. If you're worried about him cheating on you, it's not happening. Not there. I mean, listen, maybe some inappropriate like lap dances and touching, and you might not be fine with that. But if you think he's going to pull one of those girls to leave with him, you're delusional.
Right. And what are they going to do? Go bang out in his buddy's car in the parking lot?
Right.
You know, right. No, that's not going to happen. And you know your man. He hasn't rented a $300 hotel room on the fly. You know, no. But and look, I don't, you know, whatever. Tom Waits has a song called Pasties in a G-String, and it's, you know, kind of about strip club culture. Never really been my thing. I've also never been the type of dude who's like, you know what I want to do today? I want to drive to a bunch of dealerships and just go test drive a bunch of cars.
Yeah.
You know? I've never had that urge in my life, and I feel like there's overlap with the strip club for that.
For sure. Yeah. Yeah, and I would be, look, I'd be upfront if I went, you know, and I've been to, for someone who doesn't love strip clubs, I certainly have been to a bunch of them, but it's not, I'm not the one suggesting it.
Sure.
And I don't have a problem with it.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to go spend my money on that.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of those things. Although I did have a buddy back in my bartending days. We you know, it's always good to know the management of the strip clubs in the area.
Oh, heck yeah.
A variety of reasons. And we got invited to a VIP party one night at the club. And so we went because our friend's the manager, and he holds up a big stack of business cards to me, and he goes, he hands me the stack, and he goes, take a look at that. And I look at it, and it's like 1 free lap dance, but it's like a stack of them. It's like 100 lap dances. He goes, you want a couple of these? I was like, I mean, sure,
maybe.
I'll take
a couple. I guess.
Sure, I'll take a couple,
yeah.
But I don't need all of them. But to have that sort of power in your hands, I thought, oh geez, man, you just hand these out to people. Goes, well, if we ever have a problem with somebody, you know, we can comp them and do all that. Oh, gotcha. That's how it works.
That's so funny. That's so funny.
No. Nothing good ever happens late night at a strip club. You're asking to get pulled over when you pull out of the parking lot. You know, some ambitious cop waiting at the corner with his lights off, waiting for you to roll out and maybe not make a full complete stop at the stop sign and then light you up and ask some unfortunate questions.
Yeah, I got like programmed as a younger fella to view being behind the wheel of a motor vehicle, like no matter what I'm doing, no matter what the circumstance is, no matter what is or isn't in the car, always operate that motor vehicle under the mantra, never commit a misdemeanor while you're in the process of committing a felony.
Correct.
So if you drive the vehicle like it's got 25 pounds of weed in it at all times, you tend to not get pulled over as much. You also tend to not put yourself in situations where you're going to get pulled over as much. And yeah, sure. I don't like doing stupid human tricks for a police officer any more than anybody else does. So I'd really try to not put myself in those situations anymore.
You want to talk about a situation where a misdemeanor turned into a serious felony? When I was bartending, we had the Saturday night crowd would come in, and it was not the best. The demographic was it was like Asian invasion was what we called it, but it was like low tier Asian invasion. Like, you know, not a fantastic
so Filipinos.
Group.
I'm fucking right.
Yeah. There are quite a few Filipinos. But, yeah. And we had a dress code. We had a dress code for Saturday nights because you kind of had to. And then one of the codes was no like tennis shoes, right? You had to have like, couldn't have tennis shoes on. And so the guy who's running the front, or there's a lady taking money, checking IDs, and then there's a bouncer who's checking IDs. And the bouncer who's checking IDs is a legit dangerous guy. A good guy, but he's the type of guy who flies to Thailand during the rest of the week to do bare knuckle fights for money, right? He is most definitely the scariest looking guy I've ever seen. Heart of gold, but the wrong guy to mess with.
Yeah.
So he tells some guy comes up in his group and he says, sorry man, I can't let you in. You can't have these shoes. And he's like, oh, come on, please. I came all the way here. He's like, I'm sorry. This is the rules. So the guy doesn't like the answer, goes out to his car, gets a gun, comes back, sticks the gun in our bouncer's face. And the bouncer says, I wouldn't do that if I were you. Like, this is a really bad idea. Like, I'm about to take the gun away from you and then murder you with it.
Mm-hmm.
But he robs the cashier. And it's like the bar opened at like 10 o'clock and it's like 10:30. There's no money in there. You know what I mean? Like, the place isn't even packed yet. Robs the money, points the gun at the guy, leaves, gets in his car. Now we are in a parking lot that is ticket access to get in, and then you've got to get validation on the ticket. Then you got to pay the guy at the booth on your way out, and then if you've got the validation, it's free or it's $2 or whatever. This guy didn't get his ticket validated while he was in the middle of committing an armed robbery. Gets in his car. After this, decides he's going to leave, gets stuck in traffic exiting the parking lot because it's one car per, transaction. You got to wait in line. So calmly, the bouncer writes license plate down, calls the police. The guy finally gets up to the front of the, where the ticket operator is and the arm to get out of the garage. Doesn't have his ticket validated, pulls the gun on the person. That person hits the button and lifts the arm up. The guy drives out of the parking lot, makes a right, and immediately 4 police cars pull right up on him. They arrest the guy. Our bouncer gets to go testify against him, and the guy got 18 years in 18 years in California State Prison for that. Went to Pelican Bay.
Dang.
Over shoes. So don't turn don't turn a misdemeanor into a felony if you can help it. Don't try to rob people unless you've got your exit already planned.
Right? Yeah. No, that's it. That's being guided by impulse. That's what that is. You're not formulating a plan. You're not enacting on that plan. That's all id right there.
Yeah. I'll show you. You're going to tell me what shoes I can and can't wear? Well, guess who's going to tell you what shoes you can and can't wear for the next 18 years? The California Department of Correction. And you better be good at braiding hair, buddy.
Yep.
Because you're going to need it.
Yep. Better hope you like Bob Barker's. Because it's all you're going to be wearing.
All right, let's wrap this shit show up. Where's the best place for where can people get tickets for Pueblo?
ThirdEyeCarnival.com or BlowbackGallery.com. I also have a handy dandy poster with a QR code and direct link that I will be circulating pretty much everywhere. Doing my best, and maybe, I don't know, if you know anybody that might be able to throw an assist my way, I'd definitely appreciate it. But advertise more on like Colorado local radio, Colorado local podcasts, stuff like that. Because at its heart, like what we want from Third Eye Carnivals is more local people going. I love the fact that this has become like a travel destination for producers of the show and people that are on board, with the show and, yours and, everything Tease does and everybody else that we brought out over the last couple of years. I love that, but I really do want it to be where people who live in that area, come out and it's like their thing with their bands. We're just putting it on. So But yeah, get there if you can. Pueblo, Colorado, July 4th, 5th, and 6th. Blowback Gallery, thirdeyecarnival.com, blowbackgallery.com for tickets. If you can't make it to this one, we're doing them as often as we can. El Paso, Texas coming up this year, September 17th through 19th. Trying to do something in Vegas in December. Next year, we're looking at potential venues in Indiana, Michigan, Florida, Massachusetts, upstate New York, both Northern and Southern California, and Oregon. And I've made, personal contact with at least half of the property owners or venue space managers and going forward. So we're not stopping with this, man. We're not. We're going to bring good local live music, good stand-up comedy, and real conversations everywhere we absolutely can in order to help people remember that they're not by themselves in this thing. And there really is a community where they're at. They just have to, be willing to risk leaving their house for a little bit to go hang out and enjoy themselves in order to be reminded of that.
Do it while you still can. While you still have the freedom to travel. Every time I get on an airplane, I am reminded that they want to make that experience as miserable as possible for you. So while it's still available, while you can still freely operate your motor vehicle and cross state lines without having to show ID or your butthole or whatever, do it now. You're going to be off for 4th of July. It's a federal holiday. So come on out to Pueblo, Arizona. I'll be there, or Pueblo, Colorado, 4th of July weekend. Come see Steve, come see the bands, come feel normal again.
Right.
And realize that you're not alone and that you're not the only person that sees these things out there.
Heck,
you're the best. Thanks for coming back on. AM Wake Up, where can people find it?
amwakeupshow.com, along with Rumble, Rock, everywhere. We're all kinds of places. Rumble, Rockfin, BitChute, Odyssey, Kick, Twitch, Twitter. We're trying. And if you like AM Wake Up, make sure to write about it in the bathroom stalls at various truck stops, wherever you can. Always looking for additional people listening. And if you were interested in connecting with me, macroaggressions.io is the best place to do that. You can find information about the books, the podcasts, Activist Post, Natural Blaze. Go bookmark those and get your news every morning over there. Thanks, everybody. We'll talk to you again soon.